now is the time. People want that change, and the body positive, the body inclusivity conversation has just poof blown up.
Yes.
And now more than ever, we're seeing women and men, honestly, which has been really cool, of all shapes, sizes, ages, colors. I mean, name the gamut. It's like inclusivity is like really where it's at.
Yes.
But staying true to who you are is easy when you know who you are. And I think that I'm 31, and through my 20s, I had to really get to know myself. And I had a lot of like what felt like maybe a carpal tunnel, because I was just writing a lot about journaling, about who I wanted to be, what my goals were, and all these different things. And when I look back at those journals, I laugh because I feel like I was so immature. Like I really like wanted such little things.
So bad. So, yeah.
Like I really like, I look and I think, wow, I was so close-minded, but I'm so glad that I have that proof to myself how much I've grown. And it's nice to look at the fashion industry and say like, wow, things are really moving. And then be able to look back at the journals and be like, wow, I mean, it's just incredible to see like the maturity of like everything all at once. I think that just really knowing who you are and getting to know yourself is really key in whatever industry that you're in and whatever mountain you're trying to move.
Yeah, absolutely. So well said. So well said. And I think one of the things that you're really raising that's important to me here is this principle of we think we have the grandest and biggest plans for ourselves. And then the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, comes and gives you something way bigger.
Way bigger.
And you just had to stay on that path. And every delay really has a blessing.
Yep.
But you've just got to be able to wait and be patient and consistently keep pushing and working. And I think so many people just get off the path before you're actually revealed that, hey, wait a minute, like your ideas were good, but they were much smaller and there's better things in store.
You have to believe in yourself.
Yeah, you have to believe it. No, I love that. And you're so right. If you don't know who you are, you can't keep hold of that. And you've had your fair share of the negative comments too. Like when you posted when you started to post more transparent, authentic images of yourself. And I love how you have this thing called teachable moment for your haters. And I want you to tell our audience about it, because I think so many of us, like, you don't have to be a supermodel or an influencer or a creator to be worried about trolls and negative comments. Everyone gets them.
Yeah.
Whether you get 1 or you get 1,000 or you get 100,000, we all get them. So tell us about this teachable moments. I love it.
So for me, I think the natural like human reaction would be like just to have anger back. And what good would that do? It's not going to do anything for me or for the person receiving it. So I always like to think of it as like you said, like you quoted me already, a teachable moment, because not everybody understands where you're coming from. Not everybody understands why you're posting a photo that you are or whatever. So if somebody wants to write something very ignorant, like stop making fat look cool, you're going to kill somebody, then I can write a message back saying that, well, first of all, fat is necessary for a body, like in order to live. And thirdly, I'm not making fat also can be cool. And if you want to call me fat, great. I'm not offended by that word. And just having this like conversation and like break down what that person actually said, because a lot of times that person behind the keyboard is already so broken. We know this.
Yeah.
But I also like to have these teachable moments like that for the younger generation that's watching, because I want them to know you can stand up for yourself and you can do it in a polite way.
Yes.
You don't have to say, something negative and ugly back. You can say, oh, thank you so much for, identifying the fact that my cellulite is out today. Thank you so much. And it's just like, who cares?
Yeah.
But that's also, in this generation of Instagram, I'm so glad I wasn't raised in so young in that world, because there's so much wrapped up in a double tap. There's so much wrapped up in a comment. There's so much wrapped up in the followers. And I don't care how many likes I get. Like that to me doesn't ever bother me. I just always want to make sure that I'm replying to some of my DMs and my comments to make people know that like, hey, I see you.
Yes.
Like that's all that matters. And if they see that I have, quote, clapped back in a teachable way, then so be it. Because I think that that's how we should be clapping back.
Yeah, Absolutely. And I think you do that in an awesome way. Tell me how.
Wait, what are negative comments that you get?
Negative comments.
Yeah, because you're not showing your cellulite.
Okay, no. I'll tell you one of the first ones I got, which I'll never forget because it was genius. I thought it was hilarious. So it said like, I bet he has a wind blowing machine for his hair to fly like that in the videos.
Oh my God.
So like someone literally accused me of like, and I was like, wow, that's such a good idea. But I was just outside. That was like one of the first videos I made. I didn't have a team. It was one guy with his camera and me. It was a super windy day in London.
Oh.
And I'm sitting on this rooftop and literally my hair's flying.
The sound was really good, right?
The sound was really good.
I saw that interview.
Yeah. And it's just like, so that was one of them that I got. I think, so that's something common I get is something based on, again, it's always physical. A lot of it's physical.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay, I can laugh at that. That's funny. That's cool. And then often I'll get things like, oh, well, it's easy to say. And then again, that's a teachable moment too. And I'm like, yes, I know it's easy to say. I get it that you're really going through it. But this is at least opening the conversation. Like, how much can I share with you in a 3 to 4 minute video?
Exactly.
I'm trying my best here. And that's why this podcast, conversations like this are beautiful opportunities where we're really diving into so many of these themes in depth.
Yes.
With someone like yourself who's going through it in an extreme way.
Yes.
And so for me, the 3 to 4 minute videos have been windows for people to come into a bigger, deeper conversation. And so I'm open about the fact that I can't answer everyone's problems in 4 minutes. And I'm not trying to either.
Right.
I'm just trying to start a conversation. And that's what my videos were about. It's how do we start a conversation about these themes? I believed, when I started making content, I believed that people are having these conversations offline in their personal circles or on their own, but no one was having them online.
Right.
And so I was like, how can we urge and encourage more people to feel comfortable and confident to have them?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get those.
So hey haters.
Hey haters, yeah, hey haters. Teachable moments, I love it. But one of the things I really want to ask you this, and this is something I ask a lot of people whose industry or career is based on an external accolade or award. In your case, for example, getting a magazine cover, like you said, Italian Vogue. Getting a magazine cover is a big deal, right? For a model, it's huge. I mean, that's kind of proving like progress in one sense. How have you stayed in love with the process and motivated every day rather than waiting for that release of a cover to validate how you feel about your career and yourself? Because I think everyone today has this, balance between like process and result. And I'm asking that to a lot of people at the moment. I just think yours would be an incredible answer to have because your career is based around an external validation in one sense.
So the question is about like, how do I, oh wait, what were you going to say?
Yeah, no, I can explain it but you can repeat it.
No, but it's about like the process of getting to that cover and like, then getting it or not.
When I meet you, and of course, I'm meeting you at a time when you have made shifts, you are very successful, etc. But still, I see you as someone who's happy. I see you as someone who's content. I see you as someone who's excited and bubbly. And, I see all these good qualities in you. And I'm guessing that you don't live for the cover. I'm guessing that you love life every day. I'm guessing, I'm assuming that.
Right.
And if that's true, then it's like, how have you fallen in love with the process of getting to the cover and not living for the cover?
I see.
Does that make sense?
100%. 100%. So if you for me, I can't wrap myself up of my worth in my work. Because if you wrap yourself up in your worth of anything, you're going to completely fail at it. And that's like wrapping yourself up in a relationship or, literally anything. So I have made this conscious decision to be 100% comfortable and confident in who I am as Ashley and not have the world tell me who I am, but know who I am because of how I know God made me, because I know what comes out of my mouth, because I know what I look at, because I know what I do on a daily basis, what the tangible things that I am able to do. And there are so many covers that have not come. There are so many jobs that I wish have and would and will that have not. But I'm not wrapped up in that because I know what I'm doing is making a change in the world that I'm living in today. And I think that if I were to be so wrapped up in the actual process, then I would be living in high anxiety every day. And I choose not to live in anxiety.
Yeah, I love that answer. That's awesome because that's something no one can ever take away from you.
Ever.
That's something
Nobody
that can never be taken away.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. I've been thinking about that a lot, especially with so many people's lives today that revolve around a cover or a movie or an event or a promotion. It's always about this result. It's amazing.
But it's hard to get to that place.
It is.
Especially in an industry that is so wrapped up in what you do have and what people see on social media. And it's hard to teach the next generation that as well, because everything is about like the look and the glam and and like the behind the scenes and like and also just like showing literally everything and not have anything sacred. And, none of that bothers me. None of that affects me because I know who I am and I know what my mission is. And I think it's important.
Absolutely. I love how that message keeps coming back through everything you say, which just shows how crystal clear it is. It's awesome. You mentioned there, and we spoke about this at lunch, about your relationship.
Yes.
You're married for 9 years?
9 years in August.
9 years, which is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I love that. I've been married
Every year is a journey.
Absolutely.
You have 3?
I've been married for 3, together with my wife for 6.
Okay,
so,
got it.
Yeah, we've been married for 3.
Did it feel different after you got married?
It did. It felt better. I actually loved getting married. It was amazing. Like, I think it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And I was always like, I always say this to everyone. I'm like, I upgraded totally. Like, my wife's awesome. And that's a good feeling too. Like, you did better than you could have.
She's beautiful. I can't wait to meet her.
She's awesome. She's just great energy. She's lovely to be around, and she's just a wonderful soul. So, and I can't wait to meet your husband too.
Yeah, we'll do double date.
But I was going to ask this because my audience loves relationship advice, loves learning about love, loves learning about understanding yourself in a relationship with another partner.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear some of the most incredible lessons you've learned in your 9 years of marriage.
Yes.
From your partner and from that partnership.
Well, something that I've realized with Justin is that consistency is key. And the more consistent you are with your partner, the more trust you're going to build with them. And I think that also putting them first, because when you're in a relationship, it's not about you anymore. It's about that other person. And that's something that, I got married at 22 and I had to learn that lesson because at 22, you're kind of selfish.
Yep.
And Justin is so patient. Oh my, I never knew patience until I met Justin.
Wow.
Like he is the definition of patience.
That's awesome.
So I really had to understand what it was to put Justin before myself. And I think that the more I put him in front of me, the more love and vice versa, the more that he puts me in front of him, our love has really grown. And then we've just been consistent with that.
Wow. Consistency.
It's
Yeah, which is so underrated.
It's so but the reason I even started to fall in love with Justin is because he was consistent. He was the only guy that I had ever dated that was actually consistent with putting what he said into action and his actions and his words, and how he was consistently calling me and dating me and relating to me. Like, he is such a consistent man that's really truly what I fell in love with.
What a beautiful quality to look out for. And that's for anyone who's listening or watching right now, you'll never find that in a clickbait article. Just so you know that, like, consistency, it's such a great value to look for. And we all know that you'll only be happy in life if what you think, say, and do are aligned.
Yep.
And you'll only feel peace. And similarly with your partner, if you're with someone who thinks, says, and does, and that's aligned for them too. That's brilliant. That's such a great, unique. I've never heard that. I've never heard anyone say that. Yeah, that's awesome. No, I just think that we struggle today to think about what we want in someone. Again, like what you said, if you don't know who you are, similarly, what we want is based on the movies we watch. What we want is based on the music videos. What we want is based on what our parents had or didn't have.
Right.
So many of our
Filling that
beliefs around relationships
totally
are filling that void.
I wrote down a list of things that I wanted in a man. And I was like, and it was like my top 10. I wrote it down. I folded it up, put it in a box, and then poof, a year later, I got it.
No way.
It's so weird. Write it down. It's a real thing.
Okay.
But I didn't write down consistency. He just came with that.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. That was just a bonus. And then did you take this to all your dates? And were you under the table?
Can you imagine? No, thank God. My mom, when she was dating, she definitely had this guy share his list with her. And he had a list. He had a list.
The woman he was looking
he had a list, and he crossed out long hair and put loyal instead.
Oh. That's awesome. I love how they're in the same category. Oh, it's like long hair and loyal. That is brilliant. I picked out 2 of the most asked questions about relationships this year on the internet from Google. So I want to ask them to you.
All right.
So they are, the first one is, what does a healthy relationship look like? That's one of the most Googled things about relationships.
That's so funny. Was healthy really?
Just your opinion.
I think it's a good question because I think a lot of people want to be in healthy relationships, and for me, I think that when you and your partner are making each other better, you know that song, "You Make Me Better."
Yeah.
Like that's real. Because if you're making
Fabulous, Neo.
There we go. Hey,
Let's put
early
the background.
2000s.
Yeah. We're the same age, so yeah.
But I think that when you're making each other better and you can put each other first, and then at the end of it, you can both adore each other, like that to me is a perfect relationship because you've, in a sense, got it all.
Yeah. I love that. Great answer. And we'll play that song some more as well.
Yes. You make me better. Yeah. And you got to grind a little bit, like, grind on your partner.
Oh, Wait, I'm just thinking of Fabulous and Neo grinding each other. No.
I mean, you never know.
Maybe, yeah. Sorry, Fabulous and Neo. I don't know either of you, but not putting that on you. The second most Googled question was, how can you build trust in a relationship?
Consistency.
Okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think trust in a relationship is something that that is built over time, but that, you know, you talked about how like your actions, your words, and what was the other thing? Your thoughts all have to line up. But what I've always understood is that if your actions will always speak louder than your words. And you can say that you want to do something and not actually do it. So if you're doing what you're saying and you're saying consistent with that, then you're definitely going to build trust.
100%.
Like that's it. Like my husband and I trust each other so incredibly that it's like sometimes we don't see each other for a couple weeks, and it's, you know, we do a quick check-in text message every day because that's a rule of ours. But that's it. Like, because we just trust each other.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, love is a verb, not a noun.
Yes,
right.
That's
You
very
have
true.
to show it, and that's why I think so many people get lost, because you can have an abusive relationship where someone says, "I love you," because we think love is a noun.
Been there, done that.
You hear love, but you don't feel it, and then you can be in a relationship that's, you know, ownership. Like it's not a partnership, it's ownership. Like someone feels like they own you, but they say, "I love you." And again, but when you realize that love is a verb, you can then very quickly judge whether someone actually loves you or not. And
love is a verb, y'all.
Yes, love is a verb, not a noun. It's so easy to get lost in just hearing the right stuff. And if we've never heard it before, it sounds intoxicating, right? It's amazing. It's such a wonderful feeling to hear that you're loved, even if you're not feeling it. And I love that way that you're talking about how actions are louder than words ultimately as well. That's the same point being made there. I love that. And then the third question I had about that was, what's the best relationship advice you've ever received, and who was it from? I know you probably say your mom. So no, it's not this time. Okay.
No, I mean, sadly, my mom and dad's relationship only lasted 26 years. And I think she learned a lot. Wow. I learned a lot from her divorce as well. But my grandmother actually told me when I got married, she goes, "Ashley, choose your battles. Not everything has to be a fight, and not everything should be a fight. So if you feel that this is a disagreement, don't make it into a battle. Just handle it right then and there." Yeah. And that's what I choose to do now. Justin and I don't even fight. It's like, and if we do, we're just like, "This is what I think. No, this is what I think." Well, are we going to choose to disagree, or are we going to actually get down to the nitty gritty of it? Okay, great, done. And we don't go to bed mad at each other. Yes. Have you ever gone to bed mad at your wife?
No. That's one of our rules too.
Yes, it is like the biggest mistake of your life if you do, because you sleep terribly. You wake up in the morning, you're just like pissed off at everything. And then it takes all day to fix it because you've slept on it all night. Don't go to bed mad at each other, people.
Yeah, no, it's great advice.
It really
and I love that you said this. Rules. Like you said, one of our rules is when we're away from each other, we message each other.
Yeah, we have a few rules.
I'd love to hear them.
Yes.
Yeah, please share.
There's that. We have to check in at least once a day.
Yes.
We don't go longer than 2 weeks without seeing each other.
Amazing.
Because that's like, for us, it's like the breaking point.
Yeah.
And we always respect each other, even in a fight. If there's a fight that breaks out, it doesn't matter. We have to respect each other.
I love that.
Yeah. Don't feel like you have to hurry up. It's fine.
No. I'm just watching the time. I need to be careful. You're like, yeah. But no, I think that's an awesome answer. I love rules. I think rules are really, really important. And people feel rules ruin spontaneity, but actually it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, you can stop spontaneous sex. Yeah. We're not talking about that. Like, just make rules and regulations within like the time that you spend together, or how you treat each other.
How you communicate, how often you communicate.
Exactly.
Just set standards, right? Setting standards so that no one's let down. And I think a lot of us, we think that spontaneity and dynamism is lost with rules, but actually rules just enhance that. It gives you more opportunity to have those. And I've definitely seen that in so many relationships that don't have rules, that actually just start losing standards, and then people end up settling or lowering their standards, and then it's lost.
Yeah. Don't lower your standards.
Yeah, don't lower your standards.
It's not worth it.
No, definitely. It's so easy to settle in relationships.
It is.
It's really, really easy.
Been there, done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we lower our standards when we're lonely as well.
Yes.
Like I see that a lot today, that I see friends who see all their friends are in a relationship, and then you want a relationship because your friends are in one. And so loneliness becomes your metric of why you want someone in
Then
your
you're
life.
just like a serial dater.
Yeah.
Or serial sleeper around her.
Exactly. And what you said about arguments is so important. There's this incredible study by John Gottman. And John Gottman and his wife, I don't know how long they've been married, but they're very, very, very old. And I literally got to see them at a conference we were speaking at, and I fangirled over them because I love their research.
Aww.
And they're both so adorable together. But their research from the Gottman Institute talks about how the number one skill that keeps relationships together is not date nights, it's not cruises, it's not holidays, it's knowing how to fight.
Oh, wow.
Like that's the number one skill that keeps a relationship together long term. So what you just said there, it's like knowing how to fight. And I know we talk a lot about the love languages, but something I've been playing around with a lot recently is the 5 fight languages. Like
what are they? What are the 5 fight languages?
So we all fight differently. Like, so there are some of us in a fight situation who go quiet, and we just need to retreat, and we need to hide away, and we need to process our thoughts. Then there's another language where it's like, I need to talk this out right now. Like, this is it. Like, we need to have this conversation. Which one are you out of those two so far? Or you're none
I'm
of
like
these so
both.
far? Okay,
which
you're
is
both.
really
Fine.
depending
Okay,
on
you're
what
both.
it is.
And then a third fight language is the language of I need to consult someone.
Oh,
so people are like,
I don't like to bring other people into my drama.
Neither do I.
No.
But you hear it often where people are like, oh, I need to talk to this or I need to talk to that. Another fight language is the language of instant blame. Like you just start blaming that person straight away. Like you don't want to take any responsibility for it. And of course we
Sounds
start.
very juvenile.
Yes, very. But it happens.
I know.
I'm sure you've experienced it or seen it.
Look,
around.
I've done it. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you.
Yeah.
But like, geez.
Yeah.
Hearing you say it, that's like an actual trait, I'm like, I don't do that.
Yeah. We treat it. And this is why I tell people whenever you have an emotion, voice note it and play it back to yourself.
Isn't that
and you
good?
realize how silly it sounds. If you're complaining about your partner or an argument or anything, voice note, record it and play it back to yourself.
Interesting.
And you'll hear your voice and then it'll sound like someone else is saying it to you and you'll be like, oh, because what we do is we take our emotions really seriously.
Right.
But when a friend's saying something, we're like, oh, come on, get over it.
Right.
And so when you hear your voice as if it's a friend sharing it with you, you can kind of go.
The other thing that I just, Brene Brown was talking about is like, what's the story you're telling in your head? And when you can say the story that you're telling in your head to your partner and vice versa, the stories never line up.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to bring that into my relationship.
Yeah.
I just love that idea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because so many people, they think so differently.
Totally. And that's totally fine too. I think we're always told, find someone who thinks like you, find someone alike.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. How hard is that?
Good luck finding someone with the same love language too.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't need to either. That's the problem, right? So, yeah, it's crazy. Okay, we've got time for a couple more questions. I wanted to talk about your partnership with Ellen.
Yes.
Because I'm about to embark on that journey. So need all your wisdom.
Are you shooting soon?
And experience. Yeah.
Okay,
soon.
great.
Yeah. So very excited about it. But you've got season 2 of Fearless.
Yes.
Coming out. When's it coming out? Is that already?
So we start shooting Fearless really soon. And it's just been so incredible because I've been able to go to meet people from even cities that I'm from and just open up a whole new door that they never thought could ever be even cracked. And it's like we're giving opportunities to people who have felt like the underdogs, who have felt not even worthy to walk into their greatness or into the ability that they've dreamt of. And being able to work with Ellen and her team has been this like incredibly eye-opening experience that I've absolutely loved. And just seeing people's lives change right before your eyes is also just,
You've got people in tears. Like it's literally
no
like
words.
every episode.
It's like, yeah, it's a sound. It's like, So it's been absolutely amazing. Yeah. I've had so much fun. You're going to have great
it's been beautiful to watch too. I feel like the emotion that's captured in season 1 is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing people literally like break down, having
fall to their knees or just fall in people's arms. And you know, Ricky, who transitioned, that was this like incredible moment. He had never met a trans person before in his life. And then there's Laverne Cox, and here we are, you know, giving him money for his operations. And it's just like boom, boom, boom. It's like, it's heartbreaking to see that these opportunities had never been afforded to him, but it's also just so incredible to see that we were able to give him the space to be himself. So, you know, I mean, like, and everybody's story is just so different. That was the one that I kept hearing come back though. So I'm excited to shoot season 2.
That's amazing. I want to go towards the end of our interview now, but I wanted to ask you a question about, you've seen and created so many shifts in the beauty industry. Mm-hmm. Which ones are you really happy about that have changed? And which ones are you still trying to change?
Well, what I really want to see change is that we don't have to have this conversation anymore, that everything is the norm, that inclusivity, diversity is the norm. And I think that things are shifting in that direction. But, you know, I've been doing this for 20 years and I've never seen something rapidly happen this quickly. And it feels like this wild success within the fashion industry, which I'm so excited for everybody that's been a part of the process. So I think that we need to see more curves on the runway. I think that designers, once they start understanding that not every model or person or a customer is not going to fit into this ideal size or ideal beauty or whatever, then more designers are going to be like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to just keep putting the same type of person on the runway. Yeah. I don't have to just keep putting the same type of person in a campaign. So I think that that's what I'm most excited to see is like, hopefully in the next 5 years, we see even more of a change. And, you know, you've seen the industry change. There's a model, her name is Paloma Essler, and she's been doing incredible editorials that women that look like us, that have our bodies, have never been afforded before. And there's so many designers like the ones that I had said before, Christian, Prabal, Michael, that are just giving so many opportunities for curvy women to be able to dress themselves in cool, comfortable clothes. And so yes, there's a long way to go, but we have come so far, which is also so great.
Yeah. And I love that you've been such a huge part of that.
Thank you.
And to be able to sit here and have this conversation with you, I think we should celebrate that, because it's going to take, I hope that this interview is going to inspire more people in whatever space you're in, whatever industry you're in, big or small. Like, it doesn't matter about the scale, but it's about starting to have a voice, starting to make that shift, starting to stand up for what you believe in.
Stand up.
What's important.
Use your voice. Yeah. And that's in any industry.
Absolutely. Awesome. So we end every interview with a final 5, which is a rapid fire, quick fire round.
We do it in Pretty Big Deal too.
You do. Answers are only 1 word or 1 sentence maximum.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. So are you ready?
Yes.
Do you want to wait? Do you want to talk about anything else that we haven't talked about? Exciting things.
Want to talk about Pretty Big Deal?
Yeah. Let's talk about Pretty Big Deal, because I know we're going to do it when you relaunch. But
let's talk about Pretty Big Deal.
Yeah. Exactly. So
wait, that's the trade, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's why we're doing this, right? Like, we're only doing this because she's having me on.
No, I'm excited. Season 2, Pretty Big Deal. You know, when we had our lunch and you were explaining your process of how you shoot your podcast, I was like, Eureka, I've got new ideas. So I'm excited for season 2, Pretty Big Deal, to come out. And, you know, I wanted to start the podcast because, first of all, models aren't given the opportunity to have a voice. And
that's such news to me, is having never been in the modeling industry. It's so interesting from a complete outsider.
Yeah.
Like, to hear that and be like, what? How can we ever not give someone a voice? But I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
We are just supposed to be clothes hangers and just be there and be pretty.
God. Wow.
So, and I've always wanted my own TV show, and I've always, you know, felt like, you know, I'm a personality, like, what can I do? But, you know, it's not like people are just handing out TV shows. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to go make my own podcast, because this is the generation, like, our generation isn't going home and watching TV anymore. We're on the go, and we're very busy. So we're listening to podcasts, we're watching YouTube, and it's something that I was like, that's my audience. I'm going to go with them, and I'm going to talk to them about issues that I've felt very passionate about, talk to them with people that have changed my life, who have been inspirational in my career and in my just my growing up. And I've felt really great about being able to just share all those different stories with my audience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Who were some of your favorites from season 1? I know it's hard to say, but
no.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved every interview. Duh. But I love talking to Noor Tagore, who is one of my friends that is Muslim and she wears a hijab. And we really got to talk about Christianity and being a Muslim and like not parallels, but like how we came from completely different opposite sides of the spectrum, but like that we can have these natural conversations and talk about things that matter to us and be able to share so open and honestly. And I think it resonated with a lot of people, that conversation. I love talking to Lily Sang and Lindsey Vonn and Amy Schumer. I mean, like, you know, just to name a few.
Yeah. Amazing. And they're such awesome, and they're all, that's the beautiful thing that I love, that everyone. You've interviewed are doing such awesome, purposeful work.
Yes.
Like everyone on the podcast at Pretty Big Deal is doing something meaningful in their industry and trying to create shifts and ripples, which is incredible.
And that to me is most important. And I always love to celebrate other women.
Yeah. And I love the name too.
Thank you. You know, Justin came up with the name.
Ah.
Yeah, he said, well, you've always been called pretty for a big girl, and you're my pretty big deal, so why don't you just say pretty big deal?
I love it. It's such a great name. There you go. On top of being consistent and everything else.
I know.
He's coming up with names.
Sounds like the dream man,
Yeah, he really does. Yeah. He really does. I can't wait to meet him. But no, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For being here. We're going to go to the final five.
Okay. Here we go.
Question one. What is something people would be surprised to find out that you do every day?
Every day? Oh gosh. I don't know. Every day?
Or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something that I love to do is aerial yoga. Like you hang with the rope.
Yeah,
with the
I didn't
ribbons.
know that. Oh.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Love it.
When did you start doing that?
Oh, probably a couple of years ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I've never tried it.
It like releases your back. It opens your sciatic. It's like, it's really strengthening for your upper body.
It looks really hard to do.
It's so hard, but it's so much fun. Yeah.
For a second, I was like, are you going to say, no, it's so easy? And I was
No,
like,
it's not easy.
It looks really hard.
Please.
That's why I've avoided it.
Climbing up the ropes.
Awesome. Second question. What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Definitely press the snooze button. I like
interesting.
No shame in my game. I don't care. Like, but I love to wake up early because I'm all about having those moments to myself. So yeah, I'll press snooze. Fine. Maybe twice, but that's okay because that's something that I just know about.
4 a.m. right? Like
yeah. 4 a.m.
Question number 3: if I stole your phone, whose phone number would I want to steal the most?
Oh, well, do you have Ellen DeGeneres' number?
I do.
Oh, you do? I love it.
I do. God.
Oh, God. I don't know. Who knows? I think my contacts are pretty boring.
Probably Justin.
Yeah. You know what? We'll do
digested. Okay, number 4. What do you consider your greatest accomplishment?
Oh man, I always am so humbled when people come up to me and say, like, you gave me the opportunity to tell my story, to speak my truth, to get into a swimming suit for the first time. It was just like those stories that they say because I told my story. I'm like, are you serious? Like, it still shocks me to my core that's something that has changed someone else's life. And to me, greatest accomplishment. It doesn't matter what covers, doesn't matter what, anything else, no awards, nothing. Like, it is those people.
I love it. And 5th and final question, what's your favorite prayer, meditation, mantra that you repeat every day to yourself?
So I don't do mantras or like I have my affirmations, but for me, what I do is I have music, worship music.
Oh, wonderful.
And I sing a lot of like old gospel songs, or I love Fred Hammond, and I'll sing out loud to myself, with myself, and I'll praise God all morning. And it makes me just so happy.
Yeah.
So that's something that I like to do.
That's awesome. Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks,
How
Jay.
amazing was that? Everyone who's been listening or watching, I feel that Ashley shared so many incredible insights today. Make sure that you screenshot them, type them in, share them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Tag both of us because we'd love to see what you've learned and gained and grown from in this episode. There were countless messages that I was taking mental notes of. And I really, really hope that you find them as well. Make sure you go and follow Ashley across social media. It's Ashley Graham on absolutely every platform that you can possibly find.
That's right.
Make sure you look out for Fearless and season 2 of Pretty Big Deal as well. And Ashley, again, thank you so much for doing this. I'm so happy and grateful and excited for my audience to hear this. Really excited.
Thank you, Jay. I can't wait for you to come on Pretty Big Deal.
Yeah.